guys, my name is Melanie Gray and I'm going to be walking you through how you can use your new Soho feature sheet template. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is head over to File, and you're going to want to make a copy. And the reason why you want to do this is because sometimes when we're playing around with templates, we do this and then we do that and we make this adjustment, and all of a sudden the template has morphed into something that we don't necessarily want, and then we forget what it looked like before and we have no frame of reference, so you have to go through the whole downloading process again to get the original template. In order to avoid that, you make a copy, and this automatically will save a copy of this original template on your home base, so that way you can go back and get that template whenever you need to start from scratch without any of your adjustments on it. So it's always a good habit to do that. The second thing you're going to want to do is upload your listing photos. So you head over to upload media, and then you can either grab them from your computer, or if you hit those three dots, you can upload them from different sources. I love to grab things from Dropbox. That's where I save everything. So it's very convenient to have that there. And then you can get to work on customizing. So you're going to swap your photos in for, let me just type in living room, give you an example. So you can just grab your listing photo and hover over the box, and Canva will automatically pop that photo into place for you. When you double click, you can move that photo around in the box. So you can choose what aspect of that photo you want to illustrate. And I love that feature. It makes it really easy to adjust things. The next thing you might want to do is to change the colors. If you have your own brand colors, then you might want to select your own colors. So you're going to head over to the color bar. You're going to select this plus icon, and then you can pop your own brand colors in there. If you don't have your own brand colors, then by all means, you can just play around, because Canva has every color you could possibly think of. Let me just bring it back to something similar. Another option would be, and something I love to do, if you don't have brand colors, if you don't need to showcase your brand, then I love to take the colors directly from the photo itself. So if you head over to the color chooser and you scroll down a bit, Canva has selected colors that are directly in that image. So I can select something like this brown color. And what that does is it makes the photos in the template pop. So it really it makes everything look just a little bit better in your listing. So this is a really great way to showcase your listing versus your brand. Then you might want to change your fonts to match your own fonts. And we're going to focus on, this is a modern minimal template. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on another modern font. So I'm just going to type in the word modern, and then you can choose contemporary if you want. And then I'm going to choose a font that suits that tone. And I like this one. So let's just, you can draw this out a bit. Okay, if you need to minimize this line, you just have to zoom in. Let me move myself over here for a second. You just have to zoom in, and then the more you zoom in, the more control over you have, like this. So now I can move this up and down, whereas sometimes when you're zoomed out, you can't. So there we go with that line. You might want to change the color of the line, and you can absolutely do that in Canva. And I might want to make this part white so that we can read it a little bit more easy. There we go. And I'm going to change this guy to match everything else. Move myself back. And so that it's all nice and cohesive. And then you would do the same here. You would just pop in your own listing photos and then move on to page number 2. On page number 2, we have a few different icons here. This one was grabbed from Canva, so all you got to do is head over here and change the color accordingly. Down here, these icons were provided for you. They were made outside of Canva. So if you want to change the color of these icons, it's a little trickier. So what you're going to want to do is hit edit image, and then you can adjust the brightness of them. So you can either have a black or white icon very easily in Canva. And if you want to play around, if you need a specific color or close to a specific color, you can always play around with filters, and filters will kind of allow you to change the color to something close to what you might be looking for. So yeah, so this one is kind of like a brown color. And then I'm gonna hit edit image again, and then you can play around with the brightness and contrast and saturation to kind of get the same tone that we were going for on the first page here. So it takes a little bit of manipulation. It's not as easy as just clicking the color button, but it's a heck of a lot easier than having to download them and change them outside of Canva and then come back in and all that jazz. So those are a few workarounds for you if you're looking for specific colors. If you do have a very specific color that you want to use for your icons, then all you have to do is copy this icon, copy it into a new Canva document, download as a PNG file, and then you can head over to a tool that will do it for you for free online. I have added a tool here for you. So onlinepngtools.com, change color. So all you got to do is click that link and you can go ahead and change your icon colors as needed. Same thing on this page. You can just swap out all of your listing photos. And one thing that I did want to mention, let's close these notes, is if you're having this professionally printed, you definitely want to show this dotted line as you're designing. And this dotted line represents where the printer is going to cut your document. So you really want to pay attention to how close your font or your text is to that dotted line. You really want a healthy margin between that dotted line and your text so that your printer doesn't cut anything off. So, and you also want to you want to be very careful where your photos are placed in your document. So if you're manipulating this template in any way, I just want you to keep in mind that your photo boxes, or any box for that matter, should bleed past the dotted line so that when you send it to the printer and they cut, there's no awkward white space like this. So if I just bring it to this dotted line, there's always the chance that the printer will cut a little bit, just ever so slightly, on the other side of the dotted line, and then you're stuck with an unattractive white line in your document. So just make sure it always bleeds to the edge and you won't have that problem. When it comes to your info, you can definitely change things up here. You can put your logo in here, just delete this. And your photo, you would, let me show you. So I'm going to pop this girl's photo in there, and you can see that it's black and white because I've adjusted it to be black and white. So anytime you need to adjust an image in here, you just hit edit image, and then under the adjust section, see all. And then if you scroll to the bottom, you hit reset, and that will reset everything back to its original adjustments. And you might want to do that for a few other photos. So this particular photo was adjusted. The photo that was there before was adjusted to match the tone of the template. So if you didn't like those adjustments, then you just hit see all and reset. So if the colors always seem like they're a little bit off in this template, that's why, because we've adjusted the colors in order to match the tone of the template itself. So you just have to go ahead and hit reset on all those images. So see all, reset, and then you have all of the original adjustments there. In order to change your fonts, again, you're going to want to select the font, head up to the font selector, and then select a font that you want to use. And you either have brand fonts that you're working with. If you don't have brand fonts and you want to keep this minimal modern look, then you want to choose fonts that are sans serif. So if we go to the main font section here, you'll see all of these tags. If I scroll, you'll see all of these tags. What you want to hit is sans serif, and that will give you a whole bunch of modern looking fonts. And that way you can maintain the tone of the template without going too off, right? Sometimes we like a certain font, but it doesn't match the tone that we're going for. So the trick here is to choose two sans serif fonts, one for a heading and one for a subheading that you like and that work well together. In order to change the size, these are grouped together so that you can move them around, but you might need to change the size of these. So I would just right click, ungroup, so that now you can move them around separately. And then just from the corner, just change the size that way. So you can make these any size that you want. And that back. Okay, and then when you are ready to send this to your printer, you are going to head over to download and then select, let me move myself out of the way. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's start that again. So you're gonna hit download, select PDF print, and you're gonna wanna hit the check mark box that says crop marks and bleed. And this is so that your printer will have all of these, the dotted line there, it's gonna create crop marks for them so they know exactly where to cut. And I will show you what that looks like right now. So it's gonna take a second to download, and then it will be in your downloads folder or wherever you save your downloads on your computer. And once it's done downloading, I'm gonna open it up and I'm gonna show you where the crop marks are. Crop marks are so important to pay attention to because you really don't want any important information to be cut off. So when we have this box of text here, if we accidentally move it to the edge, there is no guarantee that's not gonna get cut off. And that is bad because when you have a feature sheet that you want people to be able to read, it's not legible if it's cut. So I'm gonna click that and I'm gonna show you what this looks like. And here we have it. So what you just wanna pay attention to, you wanna open it up once and just take a look at the crop marks and kind of with your, visually just kind of look to see where they're gonna be cutting. And they're gonna be cutting here and that's gonna look great. And then I'm gonna do with my eyes, yep, that's fine. We're in a healthy margin there. It's not too close, everything looks good. So just give it a once over, and when you're confident that everything is in place and ready to go, you can send this file to your printer, and that's it. If you have any questions, please reach out to hello@4th Street Creative, and we'd be happy to help you with any questions that you have.